Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So here's a newly updated deck profile for you guys today. So as y'all know, we can't really compete in tournaments for a while, especially because of the coronavirus and all that stuff. So sadly, I'm kind of stuck home, and also um, and my locals there are allowing free play, but not many people are going to be doing that for some time because again, the whole point was just to play tournaments. But honestly, I think it's fine. Honestly, like we could still play online with YGO Pro or Dueling Book and just kind of give your deck, just test out your decks from there. But I still want to at least get you guys some deck profiles. I'll probably do less of the combo videos for a while, just because again, I haven't really don't have much time to really play test right now. Work's super hectic, but again, I'm going to do my best and just try to be as active as I possibly can, because this whole pandemic thing has actually been kind of stressing me out. So yeah, but anyway, I got my dual overload boxes just yesterday actually, and pretty much got what I needed. And I still got a few cards left to go. I still need one more copy of Impermanence. I still want a playset of Phantasme, and but yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I pretty much got everything else. I actually pulled 2 Halki Fibrex in one box, so I'm really happy with that. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. In fact, today I'm just going to show you guys like the newly updated Sky Striker deck with the new support, especially Sky Striker Ace Zeke, and so on. So yeah. Alright, so starting off with the main deck, still 40 cards. Playing 3 copies of Ray. So Ray is still really good. She gives you instant access to all your Sky Striker Link monsters. And she actually has some really good interaction with one of my other cards, which I'll show you in just a moment. But yeah, her effect to tribute to basically some of the Link monsters for free is really nuts. And she brings herself back anytime your Sky Striker Link monsters are destroyed, so that's pretty good. Next, 2 copies of her new friend, Sky Striker Ace Rose. So this is basically what this card does. This card is, if a Sky Striker Ace monster is normal or special summoned, except herself, of course, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if an opponent's monster in the extra monster zone is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of a card effect, and one of your own card effects rather, while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. And then you can negate 1 face-up monster your opponent controls until the end of this turn. So this card is really good, and that's what I like about Rose. I think Rose is definitely a great addition to the Sky Striker archetype. Next, as a little spicy tech of my own, 1 copy of Darkest Diabolus, and now the reason I'm running this is because it has some super nice interaction with Ray. So since Ray's ability tributes herself and she's a dark monster, you can summon this card from your hand or your grave. And the cool thing is like you can go into Hayate, attack directly, attack with Darkest Diabolus, and during your main phase 2, you could tribute off your Darkest Diabolus if you wanted to, just to rip a card out of your opponent's hand. So I think that's a really nice card to try running, and again, it's just like a good way to basically apply pressure to your opponent. For hand traps, I'm running 3 copies of Ash. Ash is still fairly decent. And of course, 3 copies of DD Crow. Just to rip resources out of your opponent's graveyard and so on. So really good against the Spiral matchup, against the Salamangreat matchup, Hero matchup even. So yeah, just like know when to use this card and so on. For spells, and yes, I'm already moving on to spells. 3, the field spell, definitely want to run this. The fact that it gives you instant access to your Sky Striker cards, and if it leaves the field to the grave by a card effect, you can summon any of your Sky Striker monsters from your deck to the field, so it's really good. Running Mystic Mine, just 1 copy though, you don't really need too many of this. You generally just use this in case you're forced to go second and you're dealing with a combo heavy deck. You spring this on them and that's pretty much it. They're going to be done afterwards. 1 Terraforming, and that's the reprint from the Duel Overload, so I'm really happy I got the Ultra Rare. 2 Afterburners, just a good way for free spot removal basically, and you have 3 more spells. Not only do you get to destroy a monster in the main monster zone, but you also get to pop a spell or trap. So definitely a great card. 2 copies of Shark Cannon, it's basically this deck's version of Call by the Grave, and then also if you have 3 more spells, you can take control of the monster. So pretty good. For 1-ofs, I'm running Multi-Roll, Widow Anchor, 1 Jamming Waves. I was going to run this at 2, but I decided to just run the 1 only because like we're not really dealing with as much back row as I thought we were going to, but it's still a good card to run, and also I do have other ways to deal with back row heavy stacks, so don't worry. So yeah, 1 Eagle Booster, 1 Hornet Drones, Hercules Base. You still want to run this even though Engage is banned. Honestly, I'm hoping that card can come back to 1, but Hercules Base is still a good card to run regardless, so yeah. And of course I'm running the new Scissors Cross. This card's actually pretty cool. It's basically Monster Reborn. And if you control no monsters in your main monster zone, you can target a level 4 or lower, or level 4 Sky Striker Ace monster in your grave, add it to your hand, and if you have 3 more spells, you can revive it instead. So it's really good just to like as a good extender piece. So and just for recursion too, so that's pretty neat. Moving on, running 2 copies of Flinch Barrier Goods. You still want to run the Metal Foes Fusion Tech just because, you know, for draw power. I'm also running Pot of Avarice so you can recycle basically all your hand traps or whatever else you need, and then just basically get a free draw too. So this basically is just replacing like all the lost draw power that we have. 1 Rhoda, and I'm running Set Rotation rather than Metaverse because Set Rotation to me is like you give your opponent the Sky Circle spell, their field spell, because, you know, really has no way to use it, and you just give yourself Mystic Mine, you activate the Mystic Mine, and boom. You pretty much just locked out your opponent from using monster effects. This deck does not spam out monsters like at all, so that's one of the cool things about it. And plus, Metaverse can be ashed, so that's why I'm not going to be running that card. For traps, still running There Can Only Be One. Still an amazing card to run. And of course, 3 Compulsory Evacuation Device. You know, just to prevent like big boss monsters from coming onto the field. So yeah, Compulsory is still really good. It's also really good against the Shaddoll matchup because like you bounce back their Shaddoll fusion monsters and they can't get their resources back. So that's really nice. For the extra deck, I'm running 3 copies of Gagari. I have the alternate art, and I really love the way she looks. So basically she recurs all your Sky Striker spells. Shizuku, which basically searches. Hayate can attack directly. So really good card. Still want to run this at 3. The one-ofs, 1 Kaina. I don't think you need to run more than that. Just basically lock out your opponent lock out one of your opponent's monsters from attacking for a turn, so it's really good. The new Sky Striker is Zeke. I didn't feel like running more than 1. Honestly, I think 1's perfectly fine. Must be link summoned, and you can only special summon 1 copy of this card per turn. This card is link summoned. You can target 1 face-up monster on the field, banish it until your opponent's next end phase. So it's a really good way just to like get rid of problematic monsters. Now, of course, this still targets, so you just gotta watch out for that. But the fact that it banishes, that's pretty nuts. And once per turn, you can target 1 other card you control. This card gains 1,000 attack points, and you send the targeted card to the graveyard. So you could target the field spell if you wanted to, and just to get another free monster on board. But yeah, generally you just use Zeke to basically just get free spot removal. I'm running the 1 Barricade Work blocker, you know, just to protect your field spell, like Mystic Mine. You don't want your Mystic Mine to go. Namor Phoenix for like back row. Ningirsu for non-targeting destructive removal. And Borlo Dragon. I was going to run Borlo's Sword, but I was like, you know what, Borlo is just slightly better right now because there's a lot of decks right now that use targeting effects, and Borlo can't be targeted by monster effects, so like Spiral Sleeper can't really do anything to him, so yeah, that's the only reason why I'm running it. Alright. Now for the extra deck, I'm running 3 copies of Gamma Seal. You're probably wondering why you're running this over Raw Sphere Mode or Nibiru. Well, Nibiru gives your opponent a token, and plus you're essentially putting a monster in your main monster zone, so you don't really want to have monsters in your main monster zone, really. And plus, Sphere Mode, you know, you lose your normal summon, and sometimes I want to be able to normal summon my Ray or my Rose, just so I can get access to my Link monsters. So Gamma Seal's like, you only give it to your opponent, like, let's say you're up against Spirals, get rid of the Appaloosa, their Trigate Wizard negate is completely gone, and at that point it's going to be easy to kind of like just beat over that deck, really. So yeah, Gamma Seal I feel like was just slightly better for this, at least for this deck of choice, you know. 3 Shared Ride, you know, for more draw power. 3 Forbidden Chalice, only because nobody ever expects it. Against like fusion decks, like especially like with MR5 coming around, against the heroes and the Shaddolls, I'm running 3 D Barrier. It's also good against XCs and Synchro decks too, so just keep that in mind. Or even Pendulum decks too, so yeah, D Barrier, definitely something to look into. And if I'm forced to go second, Evenly Matched is definitely going to be the card you want to try to use. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile, and I will catch you guys again next time.